so here today I wanted to talk about something pretty fun because I actually didn't cover this back when it first dropped, and we kind of missed that entire thing. So I wanted to talk about where the game's currently at and how it's doing, and how it's been doing, right? For the most part, yes, I do understand that whenever this game releases an update, I always see the same comment, or rather comments and Reddit posts and Discord posts and all that stuff about the rate system and how it's like insanely unlucky, the fact that they can't pull SSR pluses and stuff like that. But I do want to talk about that over this time of the game's launch till now. It's like we're playing a very different game if you think about it, yeah? Yes, the rates are still the same. Yes, the core aspect of SSR pluses, dupe system, most of that's still the same, but things have changed, right? I wanted to refer to the revenue and all that stuff, so today we're doing multiple topics. Let's hop into it. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. Helps out massively. Let's hop over there and let's see what they're cooking. First off, I don't know if you've already seen the screenshot. This is kind of the revenue report that we get. This person like goes and compiles all the games that have, like gacha games or some of the popular ones, and kind of checks how they're doing, right? So for the most part, if you're looking at it, most games over here are doing pretty decent, right? They're doing like 200k, 300k, 400k, 500k, and for a game like Tower of God, right? The IP isn't like insanely big. There was another Tower of God game, which also isn't doing too hot in comparison. But for what this game is, correct, for what it's been, how it's done since launch, it's actually doing very well for itself again, right? Most of the Tower of God games don't really do too hot on revenue, but this one's been doing very solid, right? If you were to look at it, Tower of God over here is doing 4 million, which is again after its launch phase. Obviously, first it did 3 million in a few days, then it did 8 million, then it's done already 4 million there. And now we're kicking into the fifth month, or rather the fourth month, sorry. And we're going to see how they do here. I'm very curious. I'm hoping they can actually hold that 4 to 3 million mark. Because remember, the update we're going to get now is a big one. It's October. It was the entire fact of Yorick Mazino, Child and Dorsey. And prior to this, who did we get prior to this? Ron, right? Those are the characters prior to this. So these characters are the ones that are going to be for this month. It is also the truth that, yes, this is prior to a collaboration. So let's see how a collaboration holds up. If that's something that people care for more. But for the most part, the game is doing pretty solid still for what it is, right? It's been 3 months of the game. They're still putting in decent revenue. Obviously, there's going to be a drop-off. When a game launches, drop-off is always kind of there. If we were to look at a game like this right here, right? So clearly you see Outer Plane. It launched at 1.2 million, kind of got cut in half right away. Over here, it launched basically doing 8 million. This was like the first few days only, and it got cut in half. It's kind of how it goes with launches and stuff. So it's not that it's doing anything bad. Like, look at this, right? Blue Archive recently launched, I'm guessing, in CN. Did 2 million and then dropped down to 700,000. Correct? It happens. But I want to see that this game kind of survives for the reason of they actually listened a lot of the base things that we've asked since the beginning of the game. They sort of handled, right? If you were to look at it, I know it's not a big thing to compliment. Games do this, right, where they release you a dev notes and they tell you an entire idea of what's coming soon. But this last dev notes was like the biggest W of the century. First off, announcing how much content was very nice. Second, they told you what the entire rest of 2023 had in store for them, right? They told it to you. They literally said, if you want to save for these things. First off, they told you that this character was coming soon. They also basically hinted at like the entire aspect that in Dorsey in the October Illusion campaign, they hinted in Dorsey's coming soon, correct? That was there too. So we were like, okay, that's happening. They then went and told you the collaboration's coming, correct? Some games don't really usually do it that quick, but they did it right away, telling you this is at the start of October that guess what? Go through October, go through November, you're going to have a collaboration, so you have 2 months to start saving, which is very nice to see. We also have the fact that Rock is going to get his banner, so that's there. They then also kicked into telling you that there's a winter campaign coming, be ready for that, and every single month we plan to release an SSR Plus. So if you want them, well, either save for whichever one, potentially releases at those times, but we will be releasing that. And again, there's also all that content and other stuff that they've been promising constantly. I mean, this was a very, very good dev notes. And then the fact that over the last few updates, they've continuously added so many freebies. This 100-day celebration came out of nowhere. Very nice thing. Gave us like upwards of 9 multis, which is okay. It's very, very nice. Collab funds, as I mentioned, which is always welcome. Beyond that, again, like the quick little quality of life updates and revamps to a lot of the systems, they've been solid. Like, they've actually been good. Now, I do hope that correlates in the money that they make, because, you don't want to be like, oh, now we're dropping you money after being generous. Time to screw some stuff up. I don't want that to be the case. Again, if you were to look at it, the other Tower of God game, which, by the way, is not a bad game by any means, it's definitely dropped down a lot. Again, the IP for Tower of God is not exactly the biggest thing. I'll be honest here. Yes, it's a great IP. I'm not saying anything to the IP or discrediting it. I'm trying to say that the games that kind of come up from this IP don't exactly do the best. But for what Tower of God is, they're really, or rather Tower of God New World, the gameplay and everything is pretty nice. It's kind of mimicking a very solid idle game aspect. If you play other idle games, you see how good this game is, right? And it's still right now at this moment kind of stuck at 4 million. Apparently, we're thinking that this month is going to be around 3.5, but we'll see. We'll see if that is true. I'm hoping that it at least maintains around this range, because again, whatever it is, I think the game has gotten a lot better since launch. Remember, they added the new monthly system. They added the new daily system. They added so many new systems. The trial area system, where you have that weekly trial, giving additionally another 7 summons. You have to realize there are so many new ways. 5 daily summons. It's like they've really streamlined a lot of the processes. And yes, I do understand pulling SSR plus and stuff like that. It is still going to be very difficult. It's not like an easy thing that they've definitely solved. On my account, you kind of saw. I really, on like some of my ults here, I still don't have SSR pluses, right? You know that. Like, if we were to go through it, this is what the account looks like. I'll show it to you. Again, it's a little bit more bare bones. Almost got my full maxed out character here. And again, on my other accounts, I do have some maxed out characters, but SSR plus wise, really, none of them kind of have dupes. I've been getting other copies of them, but not dupes for some of them, which is true. But I will say that, again, some of the aspects still need a lot of fixing up. I do think that the game, for what it is still very good. Like, if you do get shafted, and it happens a lot in this game, in like 1 week, you'll have enough summons to try not to get shafted again. And if you get shafted again, you have another week to get more summons, a lot more summons, and hope to not get shafted again. Again, whatever it is, the rating system in this game is still higher than most games that I play, and that's kind of funny. Yes, the dupe system is very high, so I do see a lot of the criticism, and that definitely should be said. There are some issues still with the game. That's 100% like blatantly true. But I still think that since the launch of the game, there's been so many great improvements. I hope that they continue. I hope that the revenue does sort of maintain for the aspect of, with their changes, the revenue was able to kind of stop the drop off. Again, because they have been a lot more generous. I know you'll say whatever. I do know that there is again, both sides of the points, and both sides are kind of correct. Yeah, yes, SR pluses are insanely hard to get. Getting a lot of dupes for a lot of characters gets insanely kind of time consuming and kind of hard. Summons consuming, right? But again, I've only been saving since the release of Run, right? And I'm at 162 and 40k, like right before the release of Run, right? So because I was still summoning for Kisi at the time, and that entire banner with add-on and everything. But I've only been saving since that time, and I have 162 pulls plus the Suspendium. And again, that's not even counting me finishing a ranking board. I haven't claimed any of that stuff. That's also me not counting some of the summons. I haven't granted some of these things right now for the weeks, right? That's also there. But for the most part, I definitely think that that's great. And there's still the login events. I still haven't finished the login events that exist for the entire everything. And I haven't finished the story event. I have to claim that. Whoops. But yeah, all that stuff there, right? So again, I have seen them definitely do a lot better when it comes to these updates and everything. And they've also promised every single month we have a big update to look forward to, like a story event, which will always give us summons and everything. So realize that now I have to take care of that. I'm so sorry, it's maxed out. I gotta get rid of the stamina. But I did want to talk about this because, again, the game is still maintaining. They're still popping off with the revenue. I still think so. Yes, it's a 50% drop, but it happens for when a game launches. And for the most part, I think over the course of these updates, I want to know if you agree the same way, that the game has gotten a lot better from the launch, and it's, it only gets better from here. I hope so, right? A lot of content also coming soon in the next update they promised, so we'll stay tuned for that. And yeah, basically it. Let me know what you think. Are they cooking or flopping? What do you think?